Max, we got hands up just like Toshin's first. What's up, Max? Toshin, I know you've had a eventful, past year or so both on and off the field, but what's it like, having this day-to-day signing this extension on your 2-year anniversary of your sorority tea?
It's a blessing. You can't make it up, man. It's just a lot of people have been asking did you plan to do that? And I'm like, no, it just happened. It was the universe. Raiders Nation, let's set the stage. The Las Vegas Raiders are coming off a tough couple of seasons, but don't sleep on this squad. We've got bona fide stars like Max Crosby and Brock Bowers lighting up the field. And with new leadership like GM John Spike and a fresh coaching staff, the vibes are shifting. The Raiders are building something special, and contract extensions are a huge part of that plan. Today, we're diving into 3 players who could be cashing in big if they dominate in 2025. Who do you think deserves a fat new deal? Drop it in the comments. This offseason, the Raiders already locked in some heavy hitters. Max Crosby signed a monster 3-year, $106.5 million deal with $91.5 million guaranteed, making him the highest-paid non-quarterback in NFL history. Geno Smith also got his bag as the new QB1, but there's still talent waiting for their shot at long-term security. The 2025 season is make or break for some of these guys. The question is, who's next in line to secure their future with the silver and black? We're talking about players who've been grinding, proving their worth, and becoming fan favorites. These extensions aren't just about money. They're about building a playoff contender. So, let's get to it. First up, a wide receiver who's been quietly dominating and winning the hearts of Raiders fans everywhere. Who's ready to talk about a true WR1? Stick around because this guy's story is straight fire. Alright, let's talk about Jakob Meyers, the unsung hero of the Raiders passing game. This dude is one of the most underrated wide receivers in the NFL, and he's been a straight-up baller since joining the Raiders in 2023. Last season, Meyers hit a career high, racking up over 1,000 receiving yards for the first time. That's huge. What's even crazier, he did it with a QB carousel of Gardner Minshew, Aiden O'Connell, and Desmond Ridder. Imagine what he could do with Geno Smith slinging the ball in 2025. Meyers isn't just about stats. He's a culture setter in the locker room. The man works hard, makes clutch plays, and has hands like glue. Get this, since 2000, he's the only receiver in the NFL with 95+ targets in a season and a 0% drop rate. 0 drops. Raiders Nation, that's the kind of reliability we need. Who else is hyped about Meyers leading our young receiver room? The Raiders signed him to a 3-year, $33 million deal in 2023. But 2025 is the final year of that contract. If the front office doesn't lock him up long-term, some other team might snatch him up, and we can't let that happen. The fan base loves this guy, and he's earned every bit of that love. So, what's next for Meyers? A big 2025 could mean a massive payday, and I'm all for it. But, can he keep up that elite production with a new QB and a stacked receiving core? Let's talk about the next guy who's got a lot to prove this season. Next up, let's shine a spotlight on defensive end Malcolm Koonce. This guy was poised for a breakout in 2024 after a killer 2023 season where he racked up 8 sacks, 43 tackles, and 52 quarterback pressures. That's the kind of heat we need opposite Max Crosby. But a season-ending knee injury crushed those plans before he could even hit the field. Tough break, right? What do you think Koonce needs to do to bounce back in 2025? Co bet on himself this offseason, signing a 1-year prove-it deal with the Raiders. The new regime believes in his potential to be a gamechanger, and I'm rooting for him too. His bag, Raiders Nation, let me know in the comments if you think he's got what it takes. Up next, we've got a lineman who's been holding it down for years. You don't want to miss this. Let's talk about the anchor of our offensive line, Kolton Miller. This guy's been a rock at left tackle for the Raiders, and he's only gotten better every year. Protecting the quarterback is everything in this league, and Miller's been doing it at an elite level, despite some fan frustration with the O-line's overall performance. Miller's not the one to blame. He's been a consistent force for the silver and black. Who else thinks Miller's the unsung hero of this team? Miller's entering the final year of his contract in 2025 with no guaranteed money left on his $18.01 million average annual value deal. He held out briefly during OTAs this offseason, signaling he wants a new deal, but he still showed up to practice saying, "I want to be a Raider for life." That's the kind of loyalty we love. But the Raiders are hesitating after his 2023 shoulder injury slowed him down last season. A new deal for Miller could cost $20 to $23 million per year. And with rookie Charles Grant waiting in the wings, the Raiders might want to see Miller return to his pre-injury form before committing. That makes 2025 a critical year for him to prove he's still a top-tier left tackle. Will Miller get the extension he deserves, or will the Raiders roll the dice with younger talent? Let's keep this conversation going. Drop your thoughts below. Next, we're diving into why these extensions matter for the Raiders' big picture. Stay tuned, Raiders Nation. Let's zoom out for a second. Why are these contract extensions such a big deal? It's all about building a contender. The Raiders haven't made the playoffs since 2022. And with a new GM in John Spytek and a revamped roster, 2025 is a chance to change that narrative. Locking up players like Myers, Cowan, and Miller isn't just about rewarding talent. It's about creating stability for a team on the rise. What's the one move you think the Raiders need to make to get back to the postseason? Back to Jacob Myers. Can this guy take it to the next level in 2025? The Raiders' receiving core is young and loaded with guys like Trey Tucker, Jack Beck, and Brew McCoy pushing for targets. But Myers is the undisputed leader of the group. His ability to get open, read coverages, and make plays in a clutch makes him the perfect veteran presence for this squad. Raiders Nation, who's your favorite receiver on this roster? Last season, Myers proved he could be a #1 receiver, even with inconsistent QB play. Now, with Geno Smith under center and a dynamic tight end in Brock Bowers drawing coverage, Myers could be in for an even bigger year. Some analysts are projecting he could hit 1,200 yards if he stays healthy. That's the kind of production that screams long-term contract. But here's the catch. Myers is 28 and the Raiders have younger receivers like Beck who caught 62 passes for 134 yards at TCU last year. If Myers slips or the rookies outshine him, the front office might hesitate to pay up. The pressure is on for him to keep that zero-drop streak alive. What do you think? Will Myers stay the top dog in the receiving core or will a rookie steal the show? Let's talk about it. Next up, we're checking in on Malcolm Cowan's comeback story. You don't want to miss this. Malcolm Cowan's story is one of resilience. Raiders Nation after a breakout 2023. That knee injury in 2024 was a gut punch. But Cowan is back and he's got a chip on his shoulder. That one-year deal he's signed this offseason, it's a chance to prove he's the long-term answer opposite Max Crosby on the defensive line. Who's got faith in Co to ball out in 2025? What's your prediction for Cowan's sack total in 2025? Drop it in the comments and let's keep this energy going. Next, we're talking about why Kolton Miller's extension is a must for the Raiders' future. The Raiders are